What up, Steve?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, people on the internet.
Oh, you're live already?
I just clicked the live button.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
The brush was in here.
The brush was in here. We got him look all
you would invite
fancy.
us, but you didn't.
I did. I announced it. I said, I'm starting Vlog Thursday.
Oh.
I'm doing it in here. Bring a chair.
In the bathroom.
Bring a chair.
The chair's in there.
Oh, this is bad.
What's bad? What happened? What'd you do?
I don't know. It says unsupported resolution. What happened? Why does it think this is an unsupported resolution? Did someone change things?
Change what? There's nothing to change. Dude, there's like so much stuff here now.
Canvas, full screen. Did Jay change this?
Maybe.
Yeah, he may have.
Damn it, Jay.
Hold on. We're coming right back.
We'll be right back. We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think someone messed with... Well, tell me how it looks, folks. I think it says unsupported resolution, but they're cropping it to the proper resolution.
I think they're lying.
Yeah.
They're full of lies and deceit.
All expected resolution of 1280, 720. You know what? It looks good. I don't know. Whatever, we're going to roll with it because I guess it doesn't matter that much. Sorry about the little technical difficulty, or not difficulty, or whatever this is.
Quasi-difficulty.
Quasi-difficulty? We'll go with quasi-difficulty. So, looks fine? All right. No problem. I understand it's still fuzzy, and it's not about how we look. Here, I'll give Steve a little more.
No, I'm good.
You good?
I think I gotta find my charger though, Mark. Your child killed this thing.
My child has killed his laptop. This is a problem. We're going to move the mic a little bit. All right. Welcome to Vlog Thursday, episode 99. And I don't have a use case for that. Sorry. Wait. Where did step 2 go? Never mind. I don't have a use case for that as the title. I am here. Wow, South Africa. Watch all this fun stuff. All these people from everywhere. Watching at the doctor's office. Hey, definitely 480. It's full potato here. All right, we're going to get started in just a second here. It says 98 in the title. Is it episode 98? It is episode 98, not 99. I guess I was wrong.
I'm all excited. We were going to be in the triple digits.
I got to spot check myself here. I don't know what episode we are supposed to be on. So we're going to look this up to make sure we're on the right vlog. We're already recording, but I can change a title in flight. Even while you're recording, you can change titles on YouTube, which is pretty cool. I'm going to get to your questions all here in just a second. So what is the actual vlog? It is 99. I just have the title wrong. So we're going to change it in flight. Boom. Done. Red Roof's doing new APs? I don't know. Red Roof in. Oh, I get it. I see. I got to read from the top down, not the other way up.
Middle out.
Middle out. It's about middle out compression here. It's really important. Yeah. So it's really important that you have the proper middle out compression thing. Exactly. From the top down. Anyways, hey, look. That looks good. All right.
I'm just going to watch this little TV.
You can watch ourselves on TV. We really like the little field monitor. We've been playing with it. It's definitely a good addition to the studio here. Oh, yeah.
I love it because I can... when I don't get it stuck on every cord down here.
Everywhere.
Do the NFL review.
NFL review, play-by-play.
Make some arm gestures that I don't really know what they mean.
Sport ball! All right. Now that we are settled, we can discuss the first thing on the topic here so I can get it out of the way. Bavaria, Germany. Neat. I agree with that too. We like Germany. They seem like some good people there. I don't have a use case for that, and that's actually if the thumbnail showed up properly. And it's funny because Linus actually reviewed it. It was the SSD SATA adapter.
Yes.
It seemed cool if you had a bunch of M2s laying around, except for if you had that many M2s laying around, who has that many of the exact same size?
No, it was not. It was micro SD, like phone.
Yes.
That then turned into SATA.
Yeah.
Literally
okay.
stupidly slow. Like there's just not a reason.
And you had to have weird numbers of it. Like you had to have 2 or 4, but not 5.
Not 5.
And I don't think 6 worked.
Yeah. So it was just, and here's the thing, and this is why I titled it, and this happens all the time in tech. I have a finite amount of time, and time is the most expensive thing you have. And people ask me weird questions all the time. Hey, Tom, you really should do a video where you stick 7 firewalls in a series to each other for security reasons. That way, if you had 7 different firewalls, you'd be more secure because they'd have to have 7 different breaches. And I'm like,
You shouldn't have. No.
yeah. Just people have a lot of weird things, and they get almost indignant and upset because I reply to a lot of emails and a lot of requests that I just say I don't have a use case for that, and that is my people just have really strange ideas. And someone kept telling me like, oh, I really want to set this up this way. I'm like, it's a horrible way to set it up. I will do it only because you're paying me to, but if you're just asking for a request, it has to be rational. And I don't mind saying it's not rational, and that's my way of saying it's not a rational idea. Or, everyone wants me to review every single firewall under the sun. I really, honestly, I wouldn't mind doing it. I just need someone to fling a lot of money at me because it's very time consuming. And one of the things is, if the firewall has no benefits over any other product I've reviewed, it isn't compelling to me to use it. If it doesn't have a feature, it doesn't have, even if it's a niche feature, because sometimes you have firewalls that fit a niche feature because of something unique about them. But if there's not any reason, why would I try another one? I mean, is it faster? Is it substantially faster? Does it have a better interface? What's the compelling reason to switch? Because it takes time. Thank you for all the compliments that I'm good at some of these firewalls, but I want you to know it's because I have spent hundreds of, not thousands of hours programming them. So I get very, very familiar with them. And I'm always about learning new products, and I constantly change and add new products to our repertoire all the time. But they first have to start with, why should I use them? And if someone can compel me to, I'm awesome. I will start using whatever XYZ product it is, but it first has to start with a compelling use case. Look, man, we already downshot the 7, Eric, so now we're going to downshoot the 5 products in a row. Hey, look, we got it right there. The thumbnail's right. Hey, cool.
Yeah.
Loading.
No, it's not.
No.
I don't.
Oh, let's try
I
it.
blame yours.
Look, if Firewall had a knob that went to 11, I would already have it.
It goes to 11.
You know what? Let's start a firewall company called It Goes to 11. I don't think that's a horrible idea. So, yeah, that's just a kind of a rant, but I hate to be generic and reply. I like doing a lot of different things. I like trying different things. Sometimes it's just for fun. I'll try things. But the time it takes to really test and learn a firewall and actually put some time and effort into that firewall. Hey, thank you very much, Zach Carter. My wife did get some Tito's. Thank you. So, yeah, it just takes... Oh, so okay.
Magic.
It does take a lot of time for me to learn it, so I have to have a compelling reason to start. On a good note, things that have compelling reasons and new products you're going to see, we got more stuff being shipped to us. Tracking numbers are flying, and we got more product reviews.
Compelling reason. They sent it to us.
Well, that's just
a start.
That's a start. Not just because they sent to us, but there's a few products that we wanted to review because we have clients using it, because we know it's a good service, it's a good thing, and we use it, therefore we shall review it. And bonus, if I can get the company to send me something. We actually turned down, you can leave it open, Corey. We turned down some of the paid sponsorship opportunities from companies. I don't really, because I don't want to seem biased. So,
or sometimes your product's kind of meh.
That too.
We did have a company reach out to us like, hey, because we picked up a client who uses it, and they're like, hey, would you like to be a reseller for us? And we're kind of like, your product's all right-ish.
Yeah, it's an all right product.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah. So, anyways, so Cadmium. I'm not sure how to say it. Cadmium Networks. You may have seen Christian Crosstalk.
Camdium.
Camdium.
I think it's Camdium.
Well, we have some WISP projects coming up. How will we start there? And we're going to be doing some work. We're going to review some of their products because we're looking at some deployments with it. So it's not just a review for you. It's a review because we have some solutions that we may be looking
Cambium.
at.
It's a B.
Cambium. I can't pronounce anything. But by the time I do the review, I will figure out how to say their name. So that's definitely coming. We're going to review some of the things. And there's once again, came down to there's actually MikroTik. Oh, God. So Eric and Steve took on MikroTik the other day.
That interface is horrible.
That interface is horrible.
If I was logged in as my actual email, I was going to tell them to get back to work.
Yeah. So, yeah, the interface is horrible.
The products themselves seem solid. If you're doing a bunch of deployments of their smaller products, it seems all right because you can, once you configure one, you can just dump the settings and push it to 100 of them.
Yeah. But in terms of the setup on them,
It's a nightmare.
they're unduly complicated.
Yeah.
That's the part I noticed. I mean, it's not that they're impossible to figure out, but they don't have a good flow.
It's weird that you set a password for your Wi-Fi under a security profile that you then select in a drop-down for that antenna. So to change a password for that Wi-Fi, I have to go either create a new profile or find the profile tab to change it. It's not just under with like the SSID in that. It's separate from all that.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It does a lot of stuff. They're novel, but I'm not, yeah. I'm not big into overly complex firewalls because they lead to problems. Matter of fact, this is what leads to a lot of security problems is I'm like, I wish I could find it, maybe I'll dig it up one time, but there's a great Reddit post that was a good debrief on how the company got hacked. How they got hacked is because the smart guy who hand wrote all the firewall rules and wrote his own everything top to bottom, which was obviously very manual and very labor intensive, and he thought because he was smart, he would do it. They ended up getting hacked, and the debrief was it was too hard for other people to audit the way these rule sets worked, but someone audited them externally and found a way in through their firewall from a miswritten rule, from a real minor adjustment in the way he was writing the rules that broke it all. If you don't have a firewall that you can understand and read, especially if you're a team working at the IT level and you're tasked with securing the company, well, now you are part of the problem because you made something really complicated. And the same thing, the MikroTik's very difficult. So is it set up securely? Hold on, give me a few minutes to dig through all the settings to figure out if it's done properly. If I can't do it at a glance, there's kind of a problem with that. And that's something I'll look at when I talk like pfSense, Untangle, some of the other ones I reviewed, even the Unify ones, with the exception of the Edge router, which has some complexities in it because you have to do customization from that file. It's easy to see from some of the surface part of whether or not your firewall rules are clean. And when you do takeovers and things like that, that's just things we need to know. So yeah, it's keeping it simple. You look at some of your enterprise firewalls, corporate ones that you pay a lot of money for, like Meraki, they have a little bit simpler of an interface for managing that. And it's partly because they don't want to make it confusing to add or remove, change rules, or view what the rule sets are.
That's how you miss things.
It's how you miss things. So that's kind of my why. And once again, MikroTik doesn't offer. We have one because we're trying something, and we actually think we found another solution that's going to work better. Which is
better, cheaper, and easier to set up.
Better, cheaper, easier to set up. So MikroTik's going to miss every point. They're not even going to meet it on price. They're going to be overly complex, roughly within a few dollars of the price.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's a solution we're looking at from Cadmium Networks. So they have a bridging device. And all it is I'm looking for, and if someone wants to throw links because this is the compelling reason, yes, I know the MikroTik will do it if you have the time.
Yeah.
I want to turn the 5 gigahertz into a WAN, so to speak.
We want to receive Wi-Fi on 5 gigahertz and rebroadcast it natted on a different SSID on 2.4.
Yep. So the task is simple.
So think of it as if you're renting an apartment and they give you free Wi-Fi, but ideally, when that's all set up on the apartment side, you want, what do they call that? Basically, the devices can't talk to each other. You want isolation, Wi-Fi isolation.
Yep.
But you still want people in their apartment to be able to use a Chromecast or anything like that, so you give them this device. It connects to your Wi-Fi and then rebroadcasts it for their own personal use with their devices.
Right. So that's the goal, and it is capable of being done in a MikroTik. It's just a pain to configure. But like Steve said, if you configure one of these, and we've seen other companies using this solution, that's just how we acquired one. They're doing that. Once they have the configuration, they just push it out, and they put the particular apartment resident with their information there, and away they go. So it's not an impossible solution. And if a company offered this, and maybe we just don't know it, but Unify that we can figure out, we went through their stuff, doesn't have it. Cadmium looks like they have it, and we got a couple boxes on order from them that will be testing to do this exact thing. It looks like it supports it. I don't know. And so that'll be some fun we're having. Yay, we got audio.
I had to enable all the extra product thing and accept. And
hey, thanks, Alex. We like the LED lights because RGB is excessive and not particularly useful, which means why we like it. There's no reason to have it. It just looks cool.
Yeah, there is. It looks nice.
It looks nice.
Yeah.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So me and Steve are going to an event today, so this will get cut off.
Dinner party.
We have a dinner party invited by one of our big clients. That's really happy with us. So, hey. Yeah, the email extortion stuff. That's the one with the threat. I'm not going to use the B word because I don't want to get my channel demonetized. Is that the one we're talking about? So, well, someone typed it. Thanks, Eric.
Well, so did Willie.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing that.
Stop using the B word.
We are happy to say, yeah, don't use the B word. We can't say it verbally. Who knows? It'll demonetize my entire channel. Trust me, YouTube
Use
is crazy.
cake. It's
the
cake threat.
There's a cake threat. So, Willie, the cake threat, we are happy to report, of all of our clients, none of them have been threatened with cake today.
No, none at all.
None at all. We're happy. We are aware of the problem, though. You are right. It is an issue. Thank you, though. And it's Willie's got a really good point. And any who doesn't know who Willie Howe is, Willie Howe H5, check out his channel. So, are we in 480? We are in 480. I don't have reasons why. I can just tell you that. I don't have a reason. Actually, I do. Jay messed with the OBS settings. I'm going to blame him.
Yeah, probably.
Jay LaCroix is a friend of mine. He has Learn Linux TV, and you're going to be seeing a lot more videos of Jay with a very familiar background. He's been filming here, so he's got a ton of content he produced over the weekend. I've been letting him use my studio so he can teach people about Linux. He already does a good job of teaching people about Linux because he wrote several books on the subject that you can purchase.
Neat.
So that's Learn Linux TV. He's got a YouTube channel, easy enough to find. Yeah, okay, you haven't seen any either. Some people are others seeing yeah. It's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes we get lucky.
What is the cake threat? I haven't heard anything about it.
Oh, it's a Bitcoin one. Pay us Bitcoin and we won't let the cake...
we won't cake your building?
We won't cake your building. Yeah, so your building won't get cake. Just send us some Bitcoins.
That's just like the extortion one where they would use compromised passwords from a site.
That one we did.
Statistically, you use the password in a few other places, so...
Maybe even some adult sites.
Yeah, we're going to release where you've used all this info.
So... my favorite phone call related to the not the cake threat one, but the one where they said, we're going to release your history of adult sites you went to, was one of our clients going, is this real? It feels like a scam, and I don't really care. That is the password I use, though, but I don't like anything weird, so I'm not embarrassed by what I watch. I just said, well... I'm glad you're not embarrassed by what you like to look at.
Well, we had the guy back in the days of the FBI virus where they used to accuse you of watching child pornography. He was like, I'm not going to lie. I was watching porn, but there were no children in it.
Yes.
Like, these were grown women. Trust me.
Yeah. They were all adults, I swear. Yeah. So my favorite was the older FBI virus that used to do the camera picture, and it would put it...
Oh, you'd get some surprised faces.
It was the greatest faces ever. That was so funny. I missed those days. Just the look on people's face was amazing. So I didn't get. Today was like a functional day of me calling companies and scheduling things and emailing a lot of people as I often do. But I did up our speed. We're doubling our internet speed.
Whenever they flip the switch.
Whenever they flip the switch.
Be Thursday or sometime next week.
Thursday to
or
sometime
in November.
Next week. Or in November. Yeah, or in November.
For those of you who've seen that.
Yeah. So Comcast, in their infinite wisdom and lack thereof, first, you can't find prices on Comcast if you're logged in because they want you to talk to a sales rep for your business account. But if you open up an incognito window, not to go to one of those naughty sites, but a naughtier site called Comcast.com Business.
Oh, God.
I know. And then you can put in not an address here, but we put our neighbor's address in so we can find out what the prices were for speed so I can negotiate. Because if you put in your address, you're like, oh, you already have service to that address. So you put in an address next to yours, and they'll tell you the right price. Thank you, Comcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So anyways, Comcast, though, after all the rigmarole of talking to someone through a chat box, which I thought was stupid, but I did talk to someone through a chat box who then couldn't help me upgrade my speed. They were just the person who got me in contact with a sales rep. I'm like, I could have called for this. And then the sales rep called. It took him 12 minutes on the phone to pull my account up and actually agree to sell me the other package and not explode my modem and lose all of our static IPs. So after we got through that pain, they also said, all right, next week sometime. I'm like, what do you mean next week sometime? I said yes. I signed your DocuSign. I did it all.
Just flip the switch.
Just make it.
Can I come down there and flip it?
So we also use Wide Open West, and yeah, the Wide Open West, like I call them, within 15 minutes, I had 300 meg internet. Like, phone call, 15-minute later, saying thank you, you're a wonderful person on the phone to a guy who got me new internet at faster speed. Comcast, sometime next week, and hell on phone and hell on chat. Thanks, Comcast. But it'll be faster, and hopefully the stream will get better. Are we excited about Jean-Luc Picard? I am always excited about Jean-Luc Picard. He's awesome. So I am I'm a fan of Star Trek for sure. Steve doesn't really watch TV, period.
I watch cartoons.
He watches cartoons. I watch a very limited amount of TV. Star Trek is among that limited amount of TV that I watch. BoJack Horseman, Steve watches that because that's cartoon.
Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Mike Tyson Mysteries. But Star Trek is among my list. I've seen all of them. I'm big on Picard, but I got to admit, Picard's probably one of my favorite captains. Just I like his theatrical acting style. But I'm going to admit, Cisco, DS9, best series of all the Star Trek series. Fight me. All right. Star Trek Discovery is good. I do like it. Star Trek Discovery does not deserve to be called Star Trek. It's just a good sci-fi. So is The Expanse. Freaking wonderful. Love The Expanse, Altered Carbon. I can nerd out, so I do watch some of those.
I've seen every episode of Archer twice.
Archer twice, yeah. Archer twice, yeah. Archer's good. So, yeah, see, someone gets it. Cisco, man. Cisco's awesome. Not actual Cisco. We don't like real Cisco, but we like Captain Cisco.
What about the Cisco food delivery people?
Those are I like Cisco food delivery. They bring me tasty food. So, just got 500, need to get a new router. Now, about that, I did the firewall review, which only got more people to message me of which one I should buy. And I'm like, I just been sending the video link again as a reply. Someone messaged me on Twitter, and I'm not trying to be offensive, but they literally asked the question I answered in the review of the firewalls.
Like they're asking in the comments for the firewall?
Well, yeah.
Like just scroll up and rewatch the video again.
Yeah. Jump to the 12-minute mark. That's where I answered the question. And it comes down to, and there's a NetGate setting in front of me, so we'll put this in front of me like this.
Yeah, there you go.
I know I usually have things upside down. I want to show off my laptop, so I'll put it between us, because I got stickers. You have no stickers.
I have no stickers.
Here, now you're fancy.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I keep bringing up, directly related to this, is people go, I really want VPN to work, and I need something easy to use. And I'm like, well, okay. The person wants an edge router, but he wants easy to use with VPN. He doesn't want to write a command line. I'm like, I said the only way to get this VPN work is with the command line. I don't understand. And there's also some weird comment that says, Tom, you're way off on these USGs. I mean, all you got to do is edit the JSON file. It's not that hard. I'm like, back to you have a nice web interface, you're missing some features. Until UniFi gets those features, I still love
And
the firewall.
they keep adding features.
And they
I
do.
will give them that.
Every feature gets better, but this is one of those little things. Like, oh yeah, you want a multi-user VPN, site to site.
We might have that in 6 months.
Yeah, they don't have it now. And that's why I always say, and please note, I announced in my video, today is December of 2018, and this is my feelings about these firewalls today.
Those feelings may change in 6 months,
If
in
a company,
a year.
Yeah, and if a company makes a major dramatic change one way or the other, either A, they just make a worse product, AVG, who used to actually have a good antivirus product, it's useless today, or they make a better product later. I change my opinion on products. I am not a person who has a problem changing opinion on products. If they fix the problem that they had or they add the feature that was missing, cool. So, yes. LearnLinux.tv. I'll actually pull up a link to Learn Linux TV, and I'll just drop it in here. Give a shout out to my friend Jay. He's got a lot of great videos on a lot of deep dives into Linux stuff. He's super smart. He does it for a living. So, there we go. Jay the Linux guy. Let me go ahead. He's in my subscriber list on the side too. So, there we go. There is Learn Linux TV. So,
I don't think Netgate will drop the community edition.
no.
And if they do, there's so many forks of it at that point.
Yeah. So there's no. Here's the problem. If they drop the community edition, which I can't see any reason for them to do it because they have a big community following. If for some reason Netgate did something crazy like that, someone would fork it, OpenSense, and people back to the OpenSense one because someone's gonna go, Tom, try OpenSense and start hammering on there. I've actually talked to a few people who tried it and they hate it because they've used both. Matter of fact, one of the people were installing a large scale Netgate for. They've tried both. That's why they wanted this. They just felt though OpenSense obscured so many features in the UI that pfSense didn't. So they think that in an attempt to make some things easier, but they stripped out too many things. So yeah, for their use case, they didn't like it. The other thing, and this is just myself here, I can't really get into OpenSense because what did we get?
Bravado.
Oh.
Black garlic Carolina Reaper.
Black garlic Carolina Reaper
That
has
was
arrived.
supposed to come in
for
today.
the- Yeah, sorry for the distraction. We're going to add it to the top here. We're going to do a hot sauce review video. We ordered a whole bunch of them.
Yes.
So back to, with the OpenSense, because they have such a quick release cycle, there's a lot of versions of it. Now you have the problem of I constantly got to update a firewall. You know what I don't want to have to do commercially?
Take down a network every day.
Yeah, so Sophos firewalls, I seem to have a lot of people that just don't like them. They're not open source. There's, comparatively speaking, they're free for home users, which I guess is cool. But anyone I've talked to who's compared them to some of the other firewalls used, and some people, not some random YouTuber, like people who have deployed massive scale of firewalls, they're like, Tom, these are the problems I have with them. It just didn't kind of do this. It didn't seem stable. These updates didn't work for me. We like this product better. So Sophos doesn't have a compelling reason for me to switch. There's nothing it seems to do better. And I would compare Sophos to Untangle, and there's nothing that Sophos seems to do better than Untangle. So what's my use case?
Well, now I don't know if he means it works like a cake or works like a cake.
Yeah. I wonder who's calling me.
I don't know. You?
I'm going to let that go to voicemail.
The pfSense with UniFi works great. I mean, we have a handful of deployments with it.
Yes.
It's incredibly easy to set up.
Okay, this person just wants some help. I'll let Eric help him.
Okay.
I'll delegate that job to Eric. That's because I have employees. I'll tell you in a minute after this voicemail comes through. I'll probably just forward it to you. You just need to help someone remote in and set up a UniFi.
Okay.
Okay.
He's actually, if it's the person I think it is, they found us from YouTube. So how does the AR710 Fern work?
It's working great.
Yep, works.
It's not on fire.
It's not on fire. Neither one of them. We have a couple of them. None of them are on fire. I need to do some new XCP-NG. I'm going to do resource pool videos and backup videos again, just to cover a few things of how we do backups, how we do management of the data, and just kind of that stuff. I'm going to probably title it Jump into Pool, and it's about how to build resource pools with pfSense. Or not pfSense, XCP-NG, sorry. And I'm forwarding an email. I'm working as you guys are watching me too. So you got issues?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep, there's the voicemail. I'm going to forward this to Eric. This is how I delegate. This is how things work. Here I see Eric. There we go. Eric gets that. Eric, check my voicemail. And I'm forwarding you the other person so you can take care of what they want. They just need help setting it up. Corey did the install yesterday there, so all the new WAPs are up. They're mounted. He just needs the controller software loaded on his server. He may have gotten it loaded and he just doesn't know how to adopt or go through the next and yes of the controller software.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Tell him to get connected, screen connect, and have at it.
I actually just remembered I'm on a Chromebook and can actually do the thing I was asked from here.
Oh, cool. You're watching this actually work. So, I started and it was just kind of me rambling a lot.
Are we talking about today or in general?
Yeah, every day. Oh, here's yeah, you can use pfSense in a data center with Azure. It's certified for that. Yeah, it works. PCI pass-through, XPUs looks fairly straightforward. I never do anything PCI pass-through. I don't have a use case for it. But I've been told by a lot of people it works fine. What is the other question? Let's address this one. Muhammad Tariq, let's talk about this. This is not how it works. You can't take ports on firewall and just go, if I have an internet provider here and an internet provider here, and this one's 10 and this one's 10, I get 20 out of here. That is just not how it works. And I get that question. Now, I don't know, maybe I may be oversimplifying it. I'm just saying you can't aggregate them together in that way. You can load balance, but you won't get a single stream connection that is that fast. That is not how it works. So we can't take ISP1, ISP2, and however much bandwidth ISP1 and add
Packets
it
are
to ISP2.
stateful.
Packets are stateful.
That's really what he's coming full circle around to. It's going to realize, hey, I was on that IP. If I try to move the state over to this one, I got to break connection for a second. And you're going to have problems.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. Like they're not...
You're not going to get 20 on any single thing, but you will get 20 across several things.
Right.
Because you can have one process. Think of it like processing. I can have one process running on this core doing this. I can have another process on this core doing this.
Yep. So that's kind of how that works. So you want balancing, but it doesn't directly aggregate, not when you're using two separate ISPs. Now, there is other things like bonding that can be done if you have and we used to do this back in the T1 days, you bonded channels on T1s to build up the speed for things. Oh, you doing the support? Yeah, you can close it.
Okay, bye, Eric.
Yeah, Eric sort of thing. Yes, we're going to install some sauce on the UB router.
Don't leave that, no. It's a glass bottle. We had enough issues with the Gator hammock bottles arriving broken.
Yeah, we did.
100% vegan.
QOOB, yeah. Anyways, what about using Internet Doubler? What is this? Well, SD-WAN is a form of bonding. That's different again. So when you SD-WAN something, you're channeling it differently. It's something at the provider level, bonding it together. I'm talking about two separate ISPs, Comcast and AT&T. You can't just aggregate the bandwidth together. It just doesn't work that way. And basically, like Steve said, packets are stateful. That's where things like SD-WAN come in and start defining it, because when you start defining the channels differently, and SD-WAN just to me is another fancy term for stuff I've seen for years. I mean, my first time I bonded T1s together, hell, we had bonded ISDN lines we used to work with in the 90s. And then we moved to bonded T1s because each T1, the max, I mean, this is pretty fast back in the day, but the max T1 was 1.5. But then
fancy.
You had your PRI for your phones running over it, so you had to pull a couple channels out with the hybrid one over your AdTrans. So then you would get another bonded T1 to make up for those channels. And yeah, managing that stuff back in the day was actually way more complicated. So I'm familiar with how to write firewall rules from the command line. I've been doing it for a minute. 20 years later, I'm not that the old graybeard going, you got to do it this way, kid. If not a real tech, unless you can write all your IP table rules in the command line. No. Firewalls have gotten better. I have progressed. Systems have progressed. It's easier. It should be. Peplink has something similar, but it's load balancing it, because if you have two separate ISPs on separate BGP routes, think about that. Stateful packet inspection, stateful packets. State has to be complete, or you can't just get a few from over here and a few from over here. It has two different routes. So, hey, look at that. 128 kPRIT1. Someone else knows the language. So, yeah. Yeah, Peplink makes that little device for that. What does that thing have? I'm going to look at the features in the Peplink. They're really cool. But it has to be provider supported. So you can't just do it with two separate ISPs. Back to Peplink has an SD-WAN solution. When you're doing SD-WAN, you've changed it because now you're cooperating with the provider to get all that bandwidth there. You're not doing that when you have just two internet providers. So I'm going to do a whole video on that. Maybe I can find, maybe I'll talk to someone that I have a relationship with that does some of this work, that we could just sit and have a great conversation about it. So that might be kind of cool. Yeah, exactly. Someone's like, it uses a VPN. Yeah, once you SD-WAN over a VPN, you can bond all the channels together and aggregate it. There's a way to do it. It just doesn't work the way a lot of people think it is. It's not an easy answer. It's not just no. That's why I just said no if it was a no answer. It's a more complicated answer. That's the best way to describe it. More IT service products. Yeah, call Peplink and discuss. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I may reach out and either have one of the people I know that, well, I actually have some local people that follow my YouTube that work at big internet providers with data centers. And they do SD-WAN provisioning and at the data center level. And I wouldn't mind hanging out with them. Hell, in limited amount how we can bring a camera into a data center. But at least we can go to like some of their NOCs and talk about them. I have an idea to talk with a local cybersecurity company and, you know, detail out some of the stuff they do. They do some neat, really high-end stuff like, you know, incident responses and things to help you stop having incident responses. That's really where you want to be, is not having it.
We were joking about that the other day, talking about other MSPs in the market. And we were like, you just don't really hear about them. And I go, that's good. Because you only hear about them when it's something bad.
Yes. Yeah, both WAN need to be on the same equipment. There's a simple way to say it. You have to have the provider has to have the right equipment matching up to the same protocols you're using on your equipment. And it's not like multiple providers, it's the provider. And yeah, so we're going to get off that topic because I'll do graphs and make it visual because I don't want to just wave my hands around explaining it.
Get the whiteboard.
We'll get the whiteboard. Here's a packet. I can't draw for crap. That's the reason there's a whiteboard over here that other people have used. It's certainly not me. Because no one knows what people just draw. I think I know what Tom's saying. Let me try and doodle it. You know, bandwidth for users is you have to determine what it is they're doing to determine how much bandwidth they need. Do they do internet things? Is all their stuff cloud enabled? Are they getting a ton of emails? And I say that because we had a client that really had to up their internet speed because they just get a bunch of big insurance files sent to them, which was the carpet place. So they actually are happier with faster internet with a small number of users. I mean, this is a store that sells commercial carpet. But they get CAD files sent to them constantly. Yeah. So it's a big deal to them that they get really fast downloads because they have to download designs constantly.
We don't want to wait 10 minutes for the, 20 meg file.
And you're probably thinking, CAD files for a carpet store. Please don't add the word commercial in there. Like when a hospital needs carpet.
Yes.
There's a multi-floor layout and plan that's all done in CAD that has to go for whatever their floor coverings are, whether it be hard flooring, linoleum type flooring, or carpets in areas. So yeah, and they want it fancy, so there's an entire, it's like an engineering thing. So the use case really comes down to just how much bandwidth do they need? Do they do things online? Is everything they do cloud enabled?
Versus we had another client who kept upping their internet speed because they had 3 loops plugged in their switch.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different issue. Like FreeNAS says, hey, awesome. I'm glad you built your own FreeNAS. Think about cloud storage. We are always thinking about cloud storage. 100 by 100 symmetrical at the office is nice. Now, another thing to note, and I'm going to do a video soon on this, is going to be talking about just some of the differences. I don't know if it's worth an entire video, but like my clients that use fiber, they have a very different ping time than the ones who are using cable. So and it's not perceptibly noticeable to the end user using it, but when you're on a fiber connection, it is really nice because that first hop, and what that first hop is, if you're in the cable world and you're providing internet for cable, is you have to get from the gateway, however long down the pipe is. That may be far, that may be close, but however far before it converts from cable back over to a IP-based signal and back onto a switching network. So that adds latency. Not a lot, but there's some latency that gets added there. So that's one of the cable concerns.
60 ms to Google versus 15.
Yes. And that's one of those things you end up noticing a lot because we have pfSense doing ping monitoring to make sure that's how it notifies us if there's any packet loss or anything like that, and it goes to the log file. And I've talked about that. That's the gateway pinger. And you'll notice that the ping times are like way crazy. They're like local network when you have a fiber connection because the first hop being so close. Because, you have to sometimes put it to the second hop because some of the way the bridging goes, the first hop might actually be in the same box as the fiber, so you got to go to where the gateway is, one beyond. But it is one of those little things to notice it's fast. 300 is a good home speed. What do I do my blueprints in? I use, what is that tool? And I've mentioned it in any time I've done it.
What blueprints?
No, I'm going to pull it up. He said blueprints because he doesn't. English is his native language. It's when we do the maps and layouts.
Oh.
Yed. Yed's the tool. I don't know. I just haven't shown it. So, Yed. I've tried and someone pointed out Yed's not open source. Yeah, I know it's not open source. I haven't found a good open source one. If someone throw one at me that's as easy to use as Yed, way I can drag things around, I'd be happy to use it. So it's not that I don't. I do prefer open source, but I can't do open source everything. Sometimes it doesn't work. How do I fix my buffer bloat? I have a video on how to fix your buffer bloat. Watch my video on fixing buffer bloat. Literally, type in buffer bloat pfSense. So that's, yeah. If you don't have a, Mr. QOZ, fix your buffer bloat with pfSense and the video on how to fix buffer bloat with pfSense. So there's also, if you have a Unify, there is it's easy to do on these. There's a checkbox and untangle for it. And who else? I don't know on the Edge. I don't remember if it's a command line or just in the interface for the Edge. You can do it on all of them. It's just of how you do it. So I don't know. Any open source surveillance setup? So none are good, but yes, people are working on them. So I'm kind of following some projects because I think it'd be kind of cool. And I might build at least one system on it. But where did it go? I've already lost it. Yep. Is it this one? I'm looking for an open source one. There's a couple companies that have started some open source projects related to it. I don't know where they're at right now. All of them are real basic and nothing. They're far from enterprise. Any ones I've looked at are far from ready for the consumer market even. And I even say consumer market, not just the enterprise market. They're not very well featured. They usually don't have apps that go with them very well. And they just deeply unfeatured. They're all works in progress. Anytime I've looked at them, some of them have gotten prettier on the interfaces, but the underlying and the setup work and everything about them is just not very optimized. So, yeah, Shinobi is one of them that's out there. There's another one, and ZoneMinder is ugly. Last time I tried to use ZoneMinder, it just had problems with everything. There's nothing about Zone. I'll admit, it's been at least a year or two since I've looked at it, but it was very broken. It just didn't. Oh, the website looks new now. Use any camera, so it said. We tried using it, and we said this thing just doesn't work very well. That was.
How well does it run?
I couldn't get it to work with the cameras we had at the time, and they said there's a lot of known issues, and we were using cameras that are well documented. So, but it's been a while. Oh,
Blue Iris, it runs like a beast. Like you got to throw a server at it.
Yeah. We don't use CAD for cabling. We just use YED if we use anything. We'll just use YED to lay something out. We don't really have to CAD things out to do drops. It's just not how we do it.
Most people give us blueprints or we get them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because if we're doing a new building, because we're not architects, someone else designed the building, and
That.
they usually just hand us a copy of it. So we go to the general contractor, and by the way, if you haven't been on site or if you're getting into this business, you'll actually find most job sites have a blueprint pinned to the wall.
That.
We walk up to our phone and we take a picture of said blueprint.
We had a
It's really that.
so we had a client who sent us one in a PDF, and as we're walking around, I'm like, "Oh, cool! They have extra printouts for all the contractors who come through of nice big ones. This is great."
Yeah. So we're not really. It's not something we have to do as much. Any suggestions for processor choice at PF Sense? Now, watch my PF Sense video. Please note, I used a really old motherboard, and I actually did that on purpose because I wanted to show that the processor is not usually your limiting factor in PF Sense. Get good network interface cards, and I recommend in my getting started with PF Sense video, because I don't remember the model number, but it's one of the Intel ones that have. It's a commercial Intel one, but
Yeah.
you can also acquire it for dirt cheap on eBay and other places used. It works great. If not, $349. I mean,
Buy the thing.
there's a reason we keep pointing at this little thing here.
Don't delay. Buy today.
Don't delay by today. So
As Louis
yeah.
Rossman would say.
Yeah, fire escape and a Sharpie marker. There you go. Not a bad idea. You can use a fire escape map for a lot of buildings. That's a good point.
I played with the GeoVision a bit. It seemed like a mess the couple times I played with it.
And oddly, we just got a phone call today about a guy who hates GeoVision and wants something better.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, is there anything you'd put in?" And I go, one of the ones I've worked with, because he wanted to keep the cameras, I go, "If you send me the camera model, I'll see if they work in ExactVision." I go, "But you're looking at, I think it's $120 a license a camera." He goes, "Well, I got 30 some cameras." I go, "Well, then you're looking at close to $4,000 in licensing." He goes, "Oh, okay," and hung up.
Yeah.
Like,
People are looking for some cheap solutions on those, and unfortunately there's not. We do like ExactVision. We've never really done a review on it. It's a very enterprise-level product, but it works. We've got that deployed in some big places, but it's not cheap. At that roughly 100, their licensing is per camera, and like Steve said, $125 a camera.
Yep.
So you right away, when you go, oh, I have 30 cameras,
and you
yes,
can't buy them
do.
direct. You got to go through a reseller, so you got to contact them. So it's a little bit of a pain to get the licensing, but it really is a set it and forget it system once you get it going.
It's solid. It does not use the horsepower that Blue Iris uses.
Nope.
It's well optimized. It seems to be well written software, but that's why it also costs thousands of dollars for it. Ever tried OpenHab smart home automation? You know, there's a few different open source home automation systems. The problem I have with them, no use case. I turn light switches on and off myself. So because I have not had a compelling reason that I want my light switch controlled by anything other than the switch on the wall, my house is devoid of a lot of electronic stuff. I don't trust it.
The switch for the lights in my room are beneath my desk. I flip them on with my foot.
Yeah. Unify Video, I like Unify Video.
Works great.
Yeah.
Most of the time. 95% of the time.
Yeah, we've had the problems mostly we have with it, and this is the same problem the folks at Unify have. When people build their own server, they go, hey, I want 30 cameras, and I got this old dual-core system. That'll run it, right? No.
We have had the couple odd mystery cameras that wouldn't work at a client's. Like, we have a camera in front of our building now. At the client's, the camera would occasionally just go white. We brought it here, plugged it in, never had the problem since, put a different camera on the exact same line and everything at the client. They never had a problem since.
Yeah.
Mystery.
So there's been a couple weird mysteries we've had with it, but it's rare. And you got to remember, we're deploying these commercially. We've bought hundreds and hundreds of these cameras, and we're complaining about less than 1% have ever had a problem. But none of them have ever actually gone bad. We've just master reset them, and they seem to be working ever since. They're a one-off. They have a great...
We've never had to return one, and we've probably deployed over 500.
Yeah. I admit some of the Hikvisions definitely can be problematic.
Yeah, Hikvisions are...
mediocre.
They're you get it now, you put it in, don't try to do anything with it later because it's probably going to not have a firmware update. Or actually, we had a client, we had to tear out their Hikvisions, and he got the little Unify box that Unify sells because he wanted new Hikvision IP cameras. Well, there was a firmware update for the cameras to increase security. There was no firmware update for his NVR. So the newer Hikvision cameras were not compatible with his Hikvision NVR.
Yeah. So we've had issues. You want to try this, Steve?
Yes. We have a client running Blue Iris. Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot of habanero. You okay with that?
This Carolina Reaper.
Oh, that's Carolina Reaper. I'll share it. That's really hot.
That's really good.
Oh, man. If I have the hiccups for the end of the show, my nose is clear. Oh.
That's smoky.
Wow. Well, that's on our recommended list. You watch this.
That's great.
Ooh.
Anyway, the one deployment we did with Blue Iris. Blue Iris is a great system when you don't have a ton of cameras. Because the guy we deployed it for is like, I want to say, over 40 cameras. And the horsepower it just took at the time when we installed it a few years ago was insane. It's pinning, I think he has an FX 8350 processor in it, and it just pins it. And that's with the frame rate turned down to like 10 and 15.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hardcore to pass for some cheap cameras. That's fun, too. Someone keeps saying Reolink. Is that the other open source one? Oh, solar panel from Reolink.
I mean, I'll totally try any. Like, if there's recommendations for camera software, I'll play with it.
Yeah.
He likes firewalls, I'll play with camera software.
Yeah, it's all right. Is there replace recorders by open source? Yeah, I think that's what you're asking. There's not any that I would say are really good. So, yeah, what are you going to do? What else? I'm trying to make sure I answered everybody's questions.
I think we missed a bunch when we were eating the chips.
Well, it was hot. Pop OS is good. I commented. Unified VoIP phones. That's the other question I missed. So the Unified VoIP phones, I don't think I've heard anything amazing about them. So I kind of, no one seems to be that excited about them. We've not tried them. I don't have a lot of opinion. But no one seems to have anything like really good. So,
we use Hikvision. The one client we have that uses a lot of Hikvision cameras actually has the ExactVision system. And I have to admit, I like the ExactVision system. The licensing does kill you a bit, but you can game their licensing system a little bit. You can let it lapse. You just don't get updates. Nothing stops working, but you don't get updates on it. And so as long as you're not adding new cameras that may have newer firmware, you're good. But if you let it lapse, there's a license you have to buy that brings your license back up to current before you renew the licenses for the 2 years. If you just buy the thing that brings it current, you're good for like 14 days so you can load the update real quick. And the bring system to current license is a flat rate.
yeah.
So the client we have, they actually have one that has to be updated, and I think they have 50 cameras. And I'm like, well, we could just bring it up to date, and we got 2 weeks to just go load the update and move on with our lives.
Yeah, and back to the mobile app thing, as someone said, a good mobile app's important. Yeah, it is.
It is. I haven't tried the ExactVision one. They just, where the client we have it at doesn't have it open to the world.
Right.
Like, nobody can view it remotely.
What do I think about PF-Centric running 2.5 newer CPUs, a motherboard that supports AES-NI?
If you don't have a processor with AES-NI laying around by then,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Like,
And I did a video about it, my thoughts on it. I'm clear.
yeah.
There's a reason they're doing it, and they're talking about this. They need better packet decoding and better performance. And they're instead of relying on a software library to do AES-NI, they want to rely on the hardware libraries to do it. Simple as that.
And you have to go back to what, like a first gen I series to not have AES and
AES
I?
has been around for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's easy to find cheap hardware with AES and I. Sorry for people that have a particular 10-year-old piece of hardware going, but it works. Also, PFSense 2.5, not even in beta. So people are still excited. I did that video in 2017, and people are still asking me at the cusp of 2019, going, "Oh no, I'm going to have to abandon the whole project." And it's like there's a flame war going on in forums. I'm like, they haven't even released a beta.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it is. And if someone can have a link to prove me wrong, I don't even see it on the roadmap of when the 2.5 release is coming. So, that being said, my thoughts are the sky's falling because in 10 years I have to replace my firewall that was already 10 years old. I don't know. I don't know when they're going to release it. I don't.
Phil, my 2012 Xeons have AES and I. It's fine, really.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah. So, for the most part, there's tons of processors, there's tons of cheap things out there. The reason they're building it in is just for performance reasons in their future. And I think it's good of them to release that information early to let people know. But I guess this is also a good argument of why you shouldn't let people know early, because they'll go into panic and start hating your product because of something you plan to do in a few years. So I don't, like, I'm going to give you guys a few years heads up. Oh, God, they're throwing things at me. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, they even have it on a, well, oh, I thought you were looking at the roadmap.
No.
So, like, I don't get the almost visceral feelings people have about this when it's not, I don't know when PFSense 2.5 and AES-NI, May of 2017 is when I did that. But there's not, there's still no, yeah. Let me find out. I'm trying to find the feature release. Like, how long until this is even... Here's a 255. Oh, I'm trying to find if there's anything in there. Yeah, this is the PFSense. I mean, this is a long ways out. There's there's not a release date for 255. So there's not even a beta release date. So, whatever. Yeah. What else we have here? Still using a PFSense at work. Using a Firebox with PFSense right now. Yeah, you can run those old WatchGuard Fireboxes would run it. What do you want to know about my home and personal usage? I swap firewalls at home, and home is where I test things before I deploy to clients. Because the virtualization host CPU has, old Xeon processors are cheap. You can find old Xeon boards for cheap. So, and like I said, I don't know when the release date is, so you got a minute. You're good on that. So it's not, oh, hey, look at that.
AES-NI.
AES-NI. I'll add another
Links
box
in our store.
Links in our store, Protect Tele boxes. And I know these are sold under different names. Protect Tele is the U.S. importer of them. There's someone else who imports them under different names. You can find them cheaper from China.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you hunt around, you can find anything. I can't remember. Someone told me someone sent the name to me of who actually makes them. Like, the actual. But I don't know if that's ever true with China, because there's so much crap made in China.
They're that company today. In a month, they're going to be a different. That's like my the glass for my phone. The box and email addresses are almost exact, but it's now a different company name.
Yeah. It's like we have now changed company names.
In the couple years, they changed company names.
Exactly. Oh, man. I don't know what that person wants. Forums. Let's get to. We have a lot of you here, so let's talk about a couple things. I mean, we're going to be wrapping up soon. T1 bond is done by ISP, though it is not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, T1's bonding is done at the ISP level, so we're not out yet. But so let's jump to another topic altogether to quit ranting about firewalls for a minute. Yes, we do free PBX VoIP solution. We're working on that. we're really debating, because I know a lot of people hate Facebook, and I'm less than thrilled with it myself. And I think I get more traction. I know this from at least a lot of people messaging me, but I'm trying to gauge it from the live stream watchers right now. Are y'all interested in forums? Is a forum something you think I should do? Like a separate forums.lawrencesystems.com or something like that? Yeah, you can do gigabit no problem on pfSense as long as you have the hardware. But should I start a forum? Now, there's a lot of tech forums out there, and my reply a lot of times when people who are looking for free support is to send them to the forum of what our product they're looking for free support for, because unfortunately, I can't answer everybody's free support questions. I just simply reply with the forum. I wish it was a better way, but the volume of email I get, I can't hand type a letter to everyone to say, oh yeah, by the way. So, yeah, so if I had our own forums, or I see some people suggest a Discord channel.
3 people.
Yeah. Was it? Discord as forum? Is Discord really a forum, though? And I have other people that want to help me
I've
admin.
never used it.
Yeah. Facebook has been... I know a lot of people don't like it. Here's the thing with Discord. It's too hard to scroll back through it. I belong to too many Discords that I can't keep up with right now. People tag me and stuff, and I'm like, this is always confusing and everything else. Yeah, so Discord is modern day IRC. I know I've thought about doing IRC. I'm actually more of an IRC person than a Discord person. So yeah, the other thoughts I had. So it's kind of a mixed here on the forums. See, the nice thing about the forums, and Facebook took off a little bit, but I have a lot more people that messaged me that said, hey, Tom, if you start a forum, I'll help mod it. It is other technical people I know, because I have a few technical people who like to type and don't like to talk. So they are more than willing to help answer the questions. And that's the bigger point. I get repeatedly the same questions.
A Reddit subreddit.
Ooh, a subreddit. I love Reddit. I'm a big Reddit fan, so...
I actually like that idea.
Yeah. You know, Reddit might be a better idea. Maybe I will. So here's the thing. You have Freenode or your own IRC. I probably have a Freenode channel because I have bouncers and things like that I have running. Tom's forum. Yeah, so here's the thing. With a forum, I can search it. I can replace it, because here's what happens all the time. This is what is going on behind the scenes with my channel and with my business. People send me the same repeated question all the time. And if I answered it in depth to each person or tried to keep track of all the responses, and it's easier to post them to a forum. Hey, look, I answered that VPN question right here. Here's a whole thread about that VPN question that will answer that for you in the same way. And maybe you have a different question, but other people are willing to help other people in the forum. So if you ask the question, other people see the question and go, oh, yeah, you solve it like this. So, yeah. Much better than Tom's Hardware. So, yeah. That's kind of it. And it's more than hardware. I actually want to talk about some of the business stuff. And that's a nice thing of a forum over Reddit is I can create a whole bunch of different categories. There's a lot of you that reach out to me that want to talk about business and MSP related stuff, and I'm more than happy to talk about it. I know that's a niche, but it's a vertical market we work in and represent, so we have people reaching out to us about that. There's other you that just want to talk about Unify. There's other you that just want to talk about pfSense. So I could create different sections of the forum dedicated to, what you want to ask about that. Like one section for firewalls, one section for business talks, another one maybe about CCTV stuff. Hard forums suck too. Yeah. The problem with Reddit in the long term too is the managing it long term can be tricky. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about Discord. We've also thought about just making a wiki where I just post long form answers, but then I have to type it all. Some people do really good typing, and I'll let them type it, and I'll just pin it and go, that's the right solution. This person explains it.
This guy gets it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I've seen someone did a great job, and there's a couple people who did thorough replies on YouTube answering a question. Like I right away hit the heart on that, put it at the top, pin it to the top. That solution typed out with all this relevant information in it is exactly the solution. And that's why that would be better served in a forum, because finding a YouTube comment once posted, it's just gone. It's gone.
They can delete a Discord too. They actually did that a bit.
Yeah. Wikis are nice. But I like the engagement because you can't really ask. Well, I take that back. You can open up discussion on a wiki. And I've thought about that. So if I built a wiki and then you can open up discussion on the wiki, you could have a discussion page about the wiki with users that log in and out. And it's actually, we don't use it for our own internal documentation wiki.
We got a hallway we can yell down.
We just yell in the hallway a lot. But we can do it that way. So I've thought about that too. Really, question to answer. That's
Okay.
actually kind of, I have not heard of that. That's interesting. And I'm looking at, because I'll just spin up a server and host it. So I don't have a problem doing that aspect of it at all. Oh, we better get out of here soon because my wife is almost home.
Womp womp.
For Q&A sites. Wow, this is nice. I like this. I'll consider this. Wiki might be the way to go. I really like wikis. Because
think
I
they're-
can put write-ups in there and embed all my videos in the write-up
Yeah.
for how you do a thing.
Wikis are great for walkthroughs.
Yeah. So wikis are great for walkthroughs. And for example, when I did my firewall review video, so I could post in a wiki, firewall review. Then I can embed inside the wiki all the relevant firewalls I talked about in the review video and all the longer ones. Because someone said something not nice, whatever. Not that I'm offended by it, but I kind of get what they were coming from. They were complaining that the firewall review wasn't in-depth enough. And everyone's like, he linked to all the other videos. The person just didn't notice that in my YouTube description of the review of firewalls, I linked to 4 other videos where I
About
go,
the part you may want to be doing.
yeah. And the other thing with the wiki is I could create groups better than YouTube does. YouTube does have playlists, but they get kind of messy. I can create all the embeds for all of a subject. For example, here's all the FreeNAS videos. Here's all the sub-FreeNAS videos about how to do a particular thing in FreeNAS. And then I can post some relevant links or information inside the wiki and embed it. So maybe that's where I end up going with it. Yeah, wiki and forum. Yeah, we'll kind of play it by ear here. And I like, one of the things I like about wikis and forums like PHPBB and Wiki, I like to have control over the entire system that I can back up. I don't have to worry about the company themselves going, we decided to delete the forum or we're going out of business.
Yeah.
And you can't get the data out because they fell apart. You know, that's happened to some companies. Yeah. Anyways, we do have to get going. Is there any final questions for us? If the doghouse has fiber, we're good. Yeah.
This is Michigan. We're not exactly fiber people.
We're not fiber people.
We're excited because we're finally getting like 100 and 300 megs in our home.
What will I do next year? More of what I'm doing right now.
Eating hot sauce.
Eating hot sauce. That's next year's New Year's resolution. Just eat
Don't
hot
eat all the
sauce.
hot sauce. We can do a video on that. Mm-hmm. Because now you open it and they're going to...
I know. They don't have to know it's open. Facts. They aren't watching this. Flare'em, forum, named simple. Here's a question. Can I host Flare'em? Because one of the problems I have, and this has happened with some of the other forums. Okay, download beta. Is it open source? And let me mention this. It looks like it's open source. I can't tell. Can someone just tell me if Flare'em is open source? I'm curious. I like the way it looks. Flare'em is self-hosted by default, but is it open source? It's like Discourse and PHP, but modern. Interesting. Oh, it's on GitHub. All right, cool. I will definitely look at Flare'em. This looks pretty cool. Because some of the other ones, that when you host on their package, they creep the price up little by little. And you're like, oh, wow. Some of the forums I looked at previously, I was looking at them now, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's a popular forum. They want $250 a month just to have the forum software now.
Nah, I'm
and
good.
If you build an entire knowledge base on their platform and they raise the price, what do? You have to spend a lot of time dumping all the knowledge back off of that knowledge base and then back to why I like a wiki and things like that. So, all right, well, I'm out of here. We got to stop the stream.
A little bit.
We got to go to an event and do things and
Yeah,
do
I gotta
stuff.
get changed.
Yep.
And you gotta go home and get changed.
I got to go home.
Oh, we hit stop.
Yep.
I don't know. Ah, there it is.